Welcome.
Welcome to Coffee and Cleavage. Ooh, sorry, that was a big clink.
That was a hard clink.
I was like, we're going to crack our cup.
Oh, shit.
I'm Lynnie.
And I'm Shantal. And hello, Gary.
Hello.
Gary.
How you doing, ladies?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Had too much caffeine today.
Me too, by my clink that I did there.
She's like, clink. She's caffeine drunk. Well, today we thought we would share some more fan stories.
Yes.
We love it when you guys submit these. Can't get enough of them. So,
No, they're fun.
yeah, we'll just dive right into it.
So, someone submitted, so I've always wondered this question and haven't known who to ask until now. I love the podcast and think you guys are so great. So who better to ask? Oh, thank you. Do you ladies prefer a man to be open and direct about their intentions when dating, or is it better to pick up on the signs? For example, is it better for men when getting to know a woman they are interested in to say, hey, I like you. I'd love to just take you out on a date sometime. Or to be nice and play the game where both parties try to figure it out if the other person likes them. It always kind of seems to be an issue for me. So I would love to hear your guys' take on that.
That's a good one.
That is a great one.
That is
Honestly,
a good
I
question.
would love some intentions. And I'll say this, the kind of the situation for me. If I already know the person, if this is a person I just bumped into and they're asking me on a date, I think telling me that they like me and want to take me out would be ingenuine, a little disingenuine for me. But if it's somebody that I already knew and they were like, hey, I like you, I'd like to take you out, I think that's a really great direct approach.
Mhm.
You know, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, if it's someone that you're just bumping into them, and I mean, I've had that happen where
Me too. But have you gone on a date with anybody that's just bumped into you and asked you out on the spot?
actually, yes, I have.
Oh shit, where
And
did I
that's
miss this
rare.
story?
Well, this is like, remember the story I told that the guy was like ended up being a total asshole on the date, like looking at his phone the
Oh
whole time?
yes, you
It
met
was that
him
guy.
by chance?
I did.
Wow, he had the balls and then he dropped it.
Yeah,
dropped him.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I remember meeting him. I was working at the time, I was doing bottle service, and I was with one of my friends, and we went to this, me and you went there actually. Remember Kitchen 24 in Hollywood?
Yes.
Yeah, we were there really late, like 2 or 3 a.m. And I don't know, it was something about him. He was just a really fucking funny guy. Came up to
Funny
us,
guy. We
throwing
talked
his
about this.
funny game, you know? He
Yeah.
was just really funny, and I thought that was like something about his personality was
Like
attractive.
you gravitated towards it.
Yeah. And he asked for my number, and I gave it to him. And yeah, we went on a date, and then we didn't go on a date after that. After
Yeah.
what happened, you know?
Yeah, after he
Bad date.
dropped the fucking ball, looking at his phone.
See,
at
that
dinner.
takes, balls to do that in the first place, though, especially
Yeah.
going up to you and
Yeah.
saying, hey, can I get your number? Because, but a lot of girls are on the spot and you're like,
But he didn't just ask for it right away. It was kind of one of those things where he was just kind of
He worked his way in
yeah.
there. He knew what he was doing. He had practice. He practiced, guys. Pay
did.
attention. He did practice.
He did. So yeah, you know,
I
mean,
don't
it
know why he
happens.
threw it away after that.
I know.
What an idiot. His fucking loss. But I mean, I think, yeah, I've certainly had a lot of guys just come up to me and ask me out. And there have been times where I would say I was tempted, but I just felt a little bit unsure about it. But I didn't have time. Like, you were in a setting to where you could actually talk to them.
Yeah.
The times I'm thinking about is like where I'm like on a walk and somebody just walks up to me and asks me out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
like, I feel nervous. Let me check around my surroundings and make
literally,
sure that
they're
there's
just like,
other people.
hey, what's up? Would you want to go out sometime?
Oh, yes. Many times. Literally,
That's just
airports,
fucking kinda
on a
weird, though.
walk in a public space, at a grocery store. The grocery store one I almost gave my number to because he was pretty hot, actually. And there was a tiny bit of conversation.
I
But
remember
the-
you telling me about it.
Yeah.
He was like talking about tea.
Tea. He was asking
See,
for...
you know, it's
yeah.
initiating a
It's
conversation.
initiating a conversation.
Before just being like, hey, you're
Yeah.
hot, want to go out?
Yeah. So initiating the conversation, but you have to be in the right space for that. So while I'm taking a jog and going on a walk is not the space for that. You know, like, that's not the space
What if
to
he
stop
started
somebody.
jogging with you?
No, I would actually kind of be scared. Okay. If some guy Just starts, hey,
He's like, oh, hey, what's up?
hey, you want to go on a date? You're hot. You're
But-
like, wait, what?
Okay, so like, do they come up and just say, hey, do you want to go out? Like, so what if some
Yes.
guy came up and was like, hey, so I don't normally do this, like, ever.
I've
but
heard
like,
that line every
you
single
are
time.
so beautiful. I'd love to take you out. Would you be
Yeah.
like, fuck off?
I mean, I don't say fuck off. I just say no. I just say like, I'm
No,
sorry,
thank
I'm
you.
not seeing anyone right now. I mean, or you like lie and say you have a boyfriend or something.
Lying saying you have a boyfriend is
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm seeing
best
someone
way
right now,
to-
and I know that's really crappy. But the reality is in many of those situations, I didn't really feel like very safe. Like I felt kind of isolated and kind of put on the spot. And
So would you be
just,
more open if they were like, hey, do you think I could get your number? Instead of, can I take you out? Because I guess, I mean, but then you probably don't want someone
I mean,
to have
I
your
was
number.
surprised the first time a guy said it to me when he was like, can I take you out right now? And I was like, right now? And he was like, yeah, I know a great spot just around the corner. And I was like,
He's like, it's my van right over there.
Answer the
It
Beverly
kinda
Hills
was-
guy.
it was kind of like stranger danger type feeling for me. Because I was like near an alley and I was in a place where I frequently jogged. And so I kind of felt
yeah.
like intimidated. And I was just like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm seeing someone right now. And I feel like as a woman, that is like your safe way to work for a guy to be like, okay, you know, whatever.
So do you think it's more safe to just be like, try to get their number? Because then
I mean,
it's,
Yes,
I
yeah.
do think that is safer.
asking someone out
somebody to
is
go on a
very
date right
forward.
there when
It's
you're,
very
it's
forward.
very, very forward.
well, I guess, I mean, if you ask them out, you'd probably have to get their number unless you were like, hey, meet me Tuesday at fucking this bar.
Yeah,
Then you get
that's-
stood up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That would be weird. But like in her situation, like say I was where she was and this guy was like very charismatic and we sat there and we talked for a bit, whatever. I would be more inclined to possibly go on a date with him right then.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, do you want to go? Like he could have invited her to go get like a drink or like a coffee or like go to like a little, I don't know, fucking Denny's or something, 24 hours, something where you guys could have chatted more personally that night. And I probably would have said yes to that, you know, in that certain situation where there's more context,
Yeah.
you know, or like the tea guy. I was going to give him my number, but I was just not I was intentionally single, you know? So I'm just like, no, I'm not looking to
Do you
date
think
right
this
now.
person's talking that wrote you guys is talking more about if you kind of know the
If
person?
I mean, it kind of does sound like if you know the person. In which case, if you know the person, more reason to be direct.
Yeah.
No need to play games and waste people's time and like, oh, do they like me? You know?
Yeah.
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 But great question.
Mm-hmm.
Great question.
Absolutely.
All right, we have time for another.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, ladies. I love the podcast and all the topics lately. I can't wait for what you have in store for the new year. Ooh, ambitious fan. So I have a question that I'm sure you have heard before. So I have an okay job. I don't make a ton of money, but it's decent. I've always felt a little embarrassed about telling women where I work because I almost feel like I'll be judged. For some reason, I've always felt like if you don't have an amazing job that makes tons of money, a lot of women and people look at you like a failure. So my question is, does someone's job or profession change how attractive you find them? Wow, that's a
No.
very thoughtful question though. Like
it is.
I've
I've never like that's never been a thing for me.
yeah. And I've dated people in the past that had like, you know, not like professional jobs. You know, they just had
Yeah.
regular type jobs. But I understand the
Yeah.
embarrassment or the shame that somebody might feel because I have another friend who cleans houses for a living and feels like it's frowned upon. And I'm like, you make really fucking good money.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whatever. But they feel lesser for doing that job. Or like I knew somebody else that was a janitor and they're like, I feel like people look down on me because
well, it's
of what
almost
I
like
do.
those jobs where you get and you're
like
like,
status.
well, you're like, it's not a great job, but it's easy and I make decent money. And then you get looked at like you have no ambition to like move on from this. And
Yeah.
you kind of think people think that of you. So I get that in
Yeah.
a way. And
I get it, but I think like if you're happy and you're content with where you are and how much money you're making, then like that's really what matters. And I feel like you will find somebody who has that same view. Like maybe you're not going to line up with somebody who's like, oh, well, I think that you should try harder and get a better position or whatever. Like it's good to challenge somebody when you're with them, but you shouldn't like try to change them to be something that they don't want to be, you know?
When I was a beverage cart girl, I'll never forget the bitchy rich golf women out there.
Yeah.
I'll never forget being like, so what else do you do? Do you go to school? Or what else do you do?
Yeah.
What else do I do? Why don't you ask your husband? He follows me. You know?
You're like, I make more money than you, Martha. Shut the fuck up.
That's funny. I mean,
it was
a
just
lot
so
of people
bitchy.
are really judgmental about what you do.
Yeah.
And I mean, people ask me that right now all the time. Well, what else do you do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, actually, I do a lot. But it's like people want you to kind of justify yourselves to them or like make it make sense to them.
I don't think they realize it's insulting to say that because it's like,
Yeah.
well, this is like a shitty job. So like, what do you normally do? Because I had a job before too where some lady was like that. Like, are you in school right now? I'm like, no.
I always got
I'm
so
not.
offended by that question.
People
What
ask me
else do you
that
do?
all the time. Nobody asks you that right now.
Oh, people do all the
Oh,
time.
yeah, people do
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time. They're like, oh, so what else do you do? What do you do for a living? Is this all you do? And I'm like, oh, wow,
Is
that's
this
really
all I
fucking
do?
Or
insulting.
you're like, I work at fucking Taco Bell nights. That's what my main fucking job.
Hey, people at fast food now, I am blown away by the hourly rate they make.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's
But
fucking
it's not.
insane.
It's not.
Enough
It's
to
it's. But how much they pay to live is
Yeah.
insanely
I
high.
know.
So it's like it's not like
They
wow.
have to pay them that much.
Yeah, they have to pay that much because you can't even pay your rent with
I
less
think you're
than
thinking
that.
back to like when you were younger. It's
Yeah.
like fucking $6.75. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine
totally.
making $20 an hour now. You'd
Yeah.
be like, holy
No.
shit.
But it's
And
like that same $20 just doesn't. It doesn't still pay for the things that $6
No.
paid for. It's like outrageous.
It
But
is.
I mean, I think
I'm
that
just
I
saying.
personally don't look down on people based
No.
on what their job is. I don't even ask people. I'm blown away with how many people are so snoopy. They want to know exactly what you do for a living.
I know.
And I don't know. I guess I'm just super private, and maybe it's because like what we do for a living. A lot of people do look down on us for what we do for a
yeah,
living.
they do.
well, because people base things off of people and what they do and how much money they have.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't have a lot of money. You're kind of a piece of shit then.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
or,
you do have a
or
lot of
you
money.
earn your
then, like,
money,
okay.
you earn your money in a way that's non-conventional.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit into the box that people are expected. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a judge. You know,
I
and
think
it's
that's
like,
definitely
so then
older
people
generation.
see, older generation, they see and they're like, oh, what do you do? How long have you been doing that?
Yeah.
Did you graduate college? What did you do?
Well, because older generations like, what do? You like film YouTube videos and stuff, and like look at the YouTubers that make like fucking so much money, and it's like that's not looked at like a job,
No.
where it definitely is. You're creating content, which is hard, exactly what you guys do too, where it's just like it's not that hard, and it's like no, it very much
It
is.
fucking is.
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
But
yeah.
it's true. It's you're not like, oh, you don't like work at 7 to 3. You don't get up at like 6 in the morning. You're not working all day. That's not like a real job. Then it's like
Yeah. Oh, we're
times
working
have
all day.
changed.
We're working 24/7. Remember slinging that donut shop?
yes.
That's my comparison.
Exactly.
No, but it really is true. And I think the answer to this person's question is you find somebody who is open-minded and who doesn't give a shit what you do as long as you're happy and
Yeah.
you're comfortable. And look, I'm not saying if you're starving and you can't pay your bills and you're living paycheck to paycheck, then maybe you should look at something different. But if
Yeah.
you're happy and you're content with where you're living and what you have and your savings or whatever, then it's like, it
Just
doesn't
reminds
matter
me-
what you do.
The right person will support
Yeah,
what you do.
exactly.
And if not, fuck them.
It
Yeah.
reminds me. Have you seen the guy on Instagram? I've seen him, and it's the Papa John's guy. And he like makes pizzas, and he I'll try to find him, but he's like people will be like, oh, we work at a pizza place, and he's like so like loves working there, and he's like, hey, like one day I want to like own a pizza place, and it's all about like what you do, like if
Yeah.
you love what you do, and it's like all these inspirational things, and it's like he's super real, and I really like that because it's like he works at a pizza place and makes pizza, but it's
Yeah,
like he wants
loves
to
it.
like own one. I think that's really cool to own. It's like you got to do it forever, so you might as well like what you do. So
Definitely.
Fucking touche.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing.
Yes.
Fuck the haters.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Thank you
Cheers.
guys so much for
Thank
listening.
you.
Keep submitting those stories.
Yes, we love them. They're fun.